Hello, traveler. You are safe here. The night has set a soft blue bowl over the world, and everything inside it is quiet and kind. Before our story begins, let's give your body a little room to slow down. Breathe in gently through the nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for a soft moment, and breathe out like a sigh through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let the shoulders melt. Let the jaw unhook. The tiny muscles around your eyes smooth like calm water. Far to the north, where winter keeps its own slow time, lies a stretch of Alaska, where the land meets the wide, dark sea. Snow hushes the ground there, a padded, quiet blanket, and the pines wear a soft dusting that glows under the moon. On some nights, the air tastes like cedar smoke and salt, and the only sound is the low hum of the ocean breathing against the frozen shore. On a gentle bluff above that shore stands a small cabin with rounded corners, built from driftwood and patient hands. Its windows are thick with old glass that wrinkles the world into friendly ripples. A low, steady fire lives in the stone stove, offering orange embers and a soft crackle. A tin mug rests on the wooden table, steaming with spruce-tip tea. Warmth curls from it in a slow spiral, the scent both sweet and clean, like distant rain in a forest. This is the home of the Wizard of the Northern Lights. He is no storm thrower and no thunder shouter. He is a quiet man, with a beard the color of beach grass in winter, and eyes as calm as still water. His name is Ansel, though many just call him the Painter, because that is what he does. When the sky is ready, when the cold is crisp enough to sing, and the stars feel bright as pins, Ansel steps out, stands beneath the dome of night, and paints. Not on canvas, not on paper, he paints on the sky itself, with slow strokes of color that become the aurora. He tells stories with those colors, and the night remembers them. He does not boast. He does not call crowds. Some evenings only a fox and the sea are there to watch. But those who live in the nearby fishing village know that when the air has that lovely hum and the snow squeaks under your boots, Ansel will be out and the sky will bloom. People leave lamps low and step into the blue dark to see what story he will tell. A story of beginnings, a story of mending, a story of the old river that flows in silence beneath the ice. The lights bend and the tale unwinds. Tonight, the moon is a pale coin, thin and kind. The wind is soft, brushing the spruces in a steady shh that sounds like someone smoothing a quilt. You pull your own blanket a little higher and feel its weight settle, like a hand that knows how to comfort. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Inside the cabin, Ansel moves with that same quiet rhythm. He takes his coat from a peg, the wool thick and well-loved. He slides his feet into boots that have walked so many winter miles that they know the snow by name. On the shelf above the table is a long, narrow case carved with waves and stars. He opens it with care. Inside, wrapped in a strip of sealskin, rests his brush. The handle is made from driftwood, smooth and warm to the touch. The bristles look like ordinary hair, but when they catch the firelight, you can see a breath of color inside them, as if dawn is folded there. He does not dip this brush into paint. Instead, he steps out into the night and lifts it gently, and the brush listens. It listens to the cold. It listens to the sea. It listens to the steady beat of the earth under its winter coat, and to the quieter beat of hearts in the village below. Hearts that have known long days and long nights and want something soft to hold on to before sleep. When the brush has listened enough, the sky answers. A thin veil appears, faint and green, like the memory of a whisper. Then the veil widens. It ripples. It gathers purple around its edges, and a tender blush of rose floats through, as if the evening is remembering a summer that has not yet arrived. If you watch closely, you can see the way Ansel breathes with the light. In, and the green deepens. Out, and it streams a little farther. He is not commanding the sky. He is asking politely. He is inviting. And the aurora accepts the invitation, because kindness is an easy language to share. Down in the village, a handful of windows blink out, one by one, as people go to bed. But curtains part for a moment, so a pair of eyes can look up. Someone puts a kettle on low heat. A fisherman who mended nets all afternoon sits on his doorstep in a heavy sweater, cupping his hands for warmth and smiling without knowing he's smiling. The light touches the ice and lays a soft path across the bay, a path that looks like it could be walked if your steps were gentle enough. Back on your pillow, you can feel the story beginning. Not in words, those will come later, but in color and in breath. The lights are a lullaby written across the dark. They promise that the night will carry you and set you down softly on the other side, where morning waits with a pale pink rim and the smell of snow and coffee. Before we drift into the heart of the tale, let your hands rest where they feel at home. Let your feet uncurl. Imagine that the blanket over you is a friendly snowdrift, warm instead of cold, and the pillow under your cheek is a smooth driftwood plank warmed by the sun. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If a thought arrives, nod to it kindly, like a neighbor passing on a quiet street, and let it continue on its way. The wizard steps to the edge of the bluff. A fox crosses the field below, a small comet with a russet tail. Somewhere out on the bay, a floe shifts with a soft groan, and the sea answers with a long hush. Ansel lifts the brush. The colors gather, gentle and sure. Tonight's story, he knows, will be about finding warmth inside the cold, and finding company inside the quiet. It will be about how the sky keeps old memories safe and returns them as light when we most need them. And now, with the aurora opening like a slow, sweet breath, our story begins. The first ribbon of light drifts northward, green as seagrass in shallow water. It draws a slow arc, then another, like the sky is practicing its script. Ansel stands very still, the driftwood brush held loose in his hand. He is not rushing. The night does not need hurry. He watches how the color gathers and thins, and when it pauses, as if to take a breath, he breathes with it. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The aurora answers with a deeper glow, and the story opens like a door on oiled hinges. Down in the village, a woman named Mara steps out onto her small porch. She wraps a wool shawl around her shoulders, letting the fringe rest against her wrists. Mara keeps the light in the lighthouse when storms come, But on clear nights like this, the lamp sleeps and the stars do the guiding. Her boots know the path by heart, so she stands quiet, listening. The bay gives a low hush. Snowflakes, so small they seem to be only ideas of snow, drift and swirl in the lamp's halo before settling on her sleeve. She lifts her face to the sky and sees the first panel of the tale, a green river sliding across the dark, carrying tiny, pearly shapes within it. Ansel's brush tilts, and the green river widens. It bends around an invisible stone and smooths itself again. The pearly shapes inside brighten. Memories, he whispers to the night, but he does not speak to be heard. His words are more like a woolen thread laid onto the air, soft and steady. Each bright oval inside the river is a small kept thing. The feel of a baked loaf cooling on a wooden board. The sound of an oar knocking gently against a boat's side. The way a loved one's laugh can make all the rooms in a house feel closer. The light carries them as if they are precious, because they are. Mara knows this part of his stories. She has watched the river appear many times over the years, and every time she finds a different pebble of a moment shining in it. Tonight she finds the memory of a mitten warmed on a stove rail, and a pair of hands, her grandmother's, setting it over hers with a small, contented mmm. The mitten is long gone, but the warmth is not. It rises in her chest and spreads just as the green rises and spreads from horizon to horizon. The green softens to a blue-green, then gathers purple along its edges. A new shape unfurls, the slow shadow of a whale. It's not quite a picture, more like the feeling that a whale would make if it passed under the sea ice on a very still night. The whale follows the river, unhurried, a keeper of steady beats. It carries a gold spark on its back. When the whale exhales, the spark grows. When the whale inhales, the spark rests. In, growing. Out, resting. In and out. A heart learning the calm rhythm again. If your own breath feels shy, let it follow the whale. This big, gentle breath has room for you. Ansel lets the whale travel. He does not tell it where to go. He only brushes a soft corridor for it to glide along. The corridor gleams like polished bone. The night beyond it stays soft and dark, a velvet to lean on. Beneath him, the sea shifts, a plate of ice with a faraway groan, then settles. A fox pauses to watch, head tilted, amber eyes catching the smallest glint of green. The fox, too, begins to breathe more slowly. Mara's neighbor, an old fisherman named Ivar, opens his door with care and sits on the top step with a blanket over his knees. He has a tiny bell on his hat, there for luck, and it gives one gentle ting as he looks up. He doesn't say anything, but his shoulders lower. The gold spark on the whale's back swells and drifts free, becoming a small sun that does not burn. It divides into 3, then 5, then more. Little hearths that lift and hover over the village like lanterns with no need of glass. They gather over roofs and rest there, as if to remind each house that warmth belongs to it, even in the thick of winter. Ansel moves his brush in a slow circle. The purple deepens to violet. Threads of pink arrive, shy at first, then confident. They weave through the green river and settle next to the hearth lights. Together they form a wide, quiet quilt that hangs overhead, square upon square, all stitched with silver. In each square there's a scene, but nothing busy. A wooden table set for tea, a window with frost ferns curling at the corners, a pair of boots by a door, snow drying off them in tidy puddles. The sky becomes a slow gallery of comfort. There is a square for travelers too. In it, a narrow road through snow curves gently toward a lighted inn. Footprints mark the way, not in haste, only in patient arrival. The footprints multiply because anyone can join, and the path never runs out of space. If you have felt outside the circle today, this square offers you a chair by the fire and a mug that fits your hands. The mug's steam rises into the violet and disappears like a pleasant sigh. Mara closes her eyes, and where the dark would be, she still sees color. She feels the pull of the quilted sky, and for a moment she imagines what it would be like to sit at that table in the square that belongs to her. A table that holds a bowl of berries from summer, and a notebook with a soft pencil line waiting to be finished. When she opens her eyes, the same feeling remains. The story has been tucked into her pocket. Ansel lowers the brush for a moment, letting the aurora keep its own motion. He listens again to the snow's small sibilant whisper, to the wool of night rubbing softly against the earth, to his own easy breath. The colors answer by braiding themselves into a new pattern, spiral within spiral, like shells or distant galaxies. The spirals turn slowly, not to dizzy, but to soothe. If you feel the turn, you can let it carry you just a little, like a gentle rocking boat. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. The whale at last sinks deeper into the green, the gold. Sparks finding their resting places on the roofs. One by one, they dim to a friendly glow. The river narrows until it becomes only a stripe, then a thread, then the faintest suggestion of light, like the memory of a lullaby someone once hummed while mending a sock. Ansel knows the night is ready for the last part of the tale, the part that guides the eyes to close and the breath to settle, the part that lands you gently where sleep can find you. In, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's it. He touches the brush to the air, and a final small blossom of color opens at the sky's center, no larger than the palm of a hand held toward the stars. It is steady. It is kind. It says without words, "Here is where you can rest." The last blossom of color hangs in the center of the sky, quiet as a held note. Around it, the night is satisfied. It has told its story, and it has told it in hushes and warmth. Ansel lowers the driftwood brush and feels the weight of it settle into his palm, a friendly weight, like a book closing after the last page, like a handset back on a hook. He turns to the sea and nods, a small thank you. The ocean answers with a soft, long exhale, a shh that smooths the air. Down in the village, windows dim. Mara draws her shawl tighter, then loosens it, letting her shoulders sink. She watches the final light and knows what it means, that all the paths tonight lead inward, to the small, good rooms inside the heart. Ivar tips his hat toward the sky. The tiny bell gives a last, polite ting, and then rests. The fox curls itself into a comma in the snow, and is still. Over the roofs, the gentle hearth sparks have become soft pearls of glow, and they cradle each house in a circle of ease. Ansel slips the brush into its sealskin wrap and closes the carved case. He does not blow out the night. He does not clap his hands. He leaves the aurora to fade at the pace of a quiet breath. He walks back to his cabin, boots whispering on the path, and steps inside. The spruce tip tea is still warm. He drinks, and the warmth moves out from his center, unhurried, like light pooling across a floor. If you like, you can follow that warmth. Let it begin at your chest and drift to your shoulders, rolling them heavy and calm. Let it slide down your arms to your elbows, to your wrists, to your hands. Imagine each finger settling like a small stone into a shallow stream. The stream is slow. It carries nothing away. It only soothes. Now let the warmth move up your neck, softening the tiny muscles that have held up thoughts all day. The jaw loosens, the tongue rests, the brow smooths, the eyes grow drowsy and friendly behind their lids. Outside, the sky draws its quilt a little closer. The last ribbon of green thins and threads itself into the dark, like a lullaby remembered half asleep. The violet goes to blue, the blue to silver, and the silver to a memory that will wait for you until morning. The moon tips its pale bowl and sets a small path on the bay, a path you do not need to walk, only to know it is there. Ansel sets another log on the stove and watches the flame find it without fuss. The cabin breathes. The old clock on the shelf keeps time like a slow heart. Tick, tock, tick, tock. Nothing is demanded. Nothing is late. He thinks of the people below, tucking in, turning on their sides, drawing blankets to their chins. He thinks of you, and how the night wishes only to be helpful, like a friend who knows when to speak and when to simply sit close. Let's take 3 more easy breaths together. In through the nose, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold like you are holding the softest light. And out through the mouth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold and out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One last time, in and out. A little longer, letting the body grow heavier as the air leaves, as if the mattress were a shoreline and you were a small boat easing into the sand. If any pieces of the day float up, see how the sky has already placed them into squares of the quilt overhead. Each square holds a gentle scene. You don't need to carry them. The quilt will do it. The quilt will do it. The lighthouse lamp sleeps. The road to the inn keeps its curve. The warm mittens wait on a rail, patient. The whale glides deeper, and its big breath becomes the tide that rocks you. 10. The shoulders rest a little more. 9. The hands grow warm and still. 8. The spine settles, vertebra by vertebra, like smooth stones. 7. The hips soften, the legs heavy. 6. The knees rest. 5. The ankles let go, like loosened knots. 4. The feet are warm at the arches, the toes easy and calm. 3. The face melts, the jaw slack in comfort. 2. The breath is gentle and steady, like a cat's purr far away. 1. You are ready to sleep. If you prefer a picture instead of numbers, you can sit just for a moment in the square that belongs to you. See your table by the window. Frost ferns curl at the corners like white feathers. On the table is a small notebook. You don't need to write in it now. You only place your hand flat on its cover and feel how cool and smooth it is, and how it promises that anything you wish to remember will be waiting in the morning. The kettle murmurs once, then quiets. The chair sighs as you stand. You walk a few steps to the door, open it, and step into the soft blue hallway of sleep. The hallway is lit by the thinnest, kindest moon. Ansel finishes his tea and places the mug on the table. He sits on the edge of his bed and unties his boots. The laces make a soft whisk sound as they slide free. He sets the boots in their place, right, then left, and lies back. No spell is spoken. The room does its small, careful work. The stove gives a comforting tick. The wool blanket holds him. The night bends close, smelling fainter than cedar, a little like fresh snow, a little like clean linen. He thinks one last thought, not in words but in color, a green that means home, a purple that means rest, and a gold that means you are held. And now the sky looks in on every window it has illuminated tonight, and on yours too. It places a hand of cool light on your brow, the way a kind elder checks for fever and finds only peace. It whispers in a language older than speech, a language you know with your bones. Sleep, sleep well, Sleep all the way down. Let the breath go on without your help. Let the body do its quiet work of settling. If you wake later, the path of light on the bay will still be there, and the quilt in the sky will still be stitched with small, good scenes. For now you can drift. You can drift like a leaf on a still river, like a boat on a calm sea, like the last ribbon of aurora fading sweetly into the dark. Good night.